Have you ever wondered what the world sounded like before the noise of the modern age? Imagine the absolute silence of a frontier night, where the only clock was the fading embers of a fire. Tonight, we aren't just telling a story, we are stepping back into the quietest moments of the American past to find the rest they once knew. Welcome to Sleeptale Histories. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight, we take a long, slow journey through the early days of America, from the blue mists of the Appalachians to the whispering tall grass of the Great Plains. My promise to you is simple: a space of total peace. No sudden noises, no rush, and no worries. As we explore how the early settlers ended their days, let the rhythm of my voice guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. Adjust your blankets, close your eyes, and let the journey begin. The sun is beginning its slow descent behind the jagged peaks of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Here, in the heart of the early American wilderness, the world feels vast and ancient. You are standing on the porch of a small, hand-hewn log cabin. The wood beneath your feet is rough but solid, smelling of cedar and aged pine. The air is changing. The heavy heat of the afternoon has faded, replaced by a cool, crisp breeze that carries the scent of damp earth and wild herbs. Take a deep breath. Feel that cool mountain air fill your lungs, and as you exhale, feel your shoulders drop. The work of the day is done. In the distance, the mountains are no longer green. They have turned a soft, hazy blue, a velvet curtain draped across the horizon. This is why the settlers called them the Blue Ridge. As the shadows stretch longer and longer across the valley, the world begins to tuck itself in. Listen to the trees. A gentle wind moves through the oaks and the tall poplars. It is a rhythmic sound, like the ocean, but softer. Swoosh, swoosh. It is the breath of the forest. To the early settlers, this sound was a lullaby. It told them that the woods were at peace. Down by the creek, the water is dancing over smooth gray stones. The sound is a constant, shimmering ripple. Imagine that water, clear, cold, and pure, flowing down from the hidden springs, washing away the dust of the trail. The settlers would come here to wash their hands and faces, feeling the mountain's chill wake their skin before the long night's rest. Now look toward the cabin. A thin ribbon of pale smoke rises from the stone chimney. It moves slowly, spiraling up toward the first few stars. Inside, the hearth is glowing. The fire is not a roaring flame anymore. It is a bed of soft, orange embers. The light it casts is warm and golden, flickering gently against the timber walls. The settler sits in a heavy wooden chair, carved by hand. There is no noise of machinery, no distant hum of engines. There is only the crackle of a drying log and the soft thud of a sleepy hound dog settling onto the rug. This is a deep, true silence. It is a silence that feels like a heavy blanket, safe and protective. Outside, the birds are finding their nests. The bright songs of the day have turned into soft, occasional chirps. Soon, the only sound will be the rhythmic call of the whippoorwill, hidden somewhere in the darkening pines. Whippoorwill, whippoorwill. It is a lonely sound, but a peaceful one. It marks the boundary between the world of doing and the world of dreaming. The blue of the mountains is now turning into a deep, regal purple. The sky above is a soft indigo, dotted with shimmering sparks of light. These stars guided the settlers across the vast landscape, and now they watch over the tiny cabin. Everything is still. The garden is quiet. The tools are put away. The heavy iron pot hangs still over the cooling fire. You feel a sense of profound belonging. This land is rugged, yes, but tonight it is kind. It offers a rest that has been earned through honest labor. As the last bit of light fades from the peaks, you realize that this is just the beginning of the journey. Beyond these ridges lie more valleys, more rivers, and more stories waiting in the mist. But for now, there is only this moment. The shadows have fully merged with the night. The cabin is dark, lit only by the soft, pulsing glow of the hearth. Your eyes feel heavy, mimicking the stillness of the Blue Ridge. The mountains are sleeping, the forest is sleeping, and now it is your turn to join them in the quiet dark of the American frontier. Sleep now as the blue mist settles in the valley. Sleep among the long shadows of the Blue Ridge.
Leave the Blue Mountains behind for a moment. In your mind, travel east. Travel toward the sound of the salt spray and the endless horizon. We are now on the rugged Atlantic coast, in a small colonial village tucked away in a quiet cove. The year is long ago. The air here is different. It is thick with the scent of sea salt, damp sand, and the faint, sweet aroma of drying cedar shingles. The sun has already dipped below the land behind you. In front of you lies the great Atlantic Ocean. It is vast. It is ancient. But tonight, the ocean is not angry. It is a giant breathing softly in its sleep. Listen to the water. Shh. Hushing. Shh. The waves are not crashing. They are gently sliding onto the smooth gray pebbles of the shore. Each wave is a soft caress. Each movement is rhythmic and steady, in and out, in and out. Let your breathing match the rhythm of the tide. The sky over the ocean is a beautiful, dusty rose, fading into a deep velvet violet. There is no line where the water ends and the sky begins. It is all one peaceful, shimmering blue. A single lighthouse in the distance begins its nightly work. Its light is not bright or harsh. It is a soft, golden pulse that sweeps across the dark water, like a warm hand reaching out through the mist. Walk with me along the sandy path toward a small white cottage. The grass here is long and silver in the moonlight, swaying gently in the sea breeze. This breeze is cool and soft against your skin. It carries the whispers of the Atlantic, stories of ships that have traveled far, and the quiet peace of the shore. Inside the cottage, the floorboards are made of wide, sturdy oak. They feel smooth and cool underfoot. A small candle burns on a wooden table near the window. Its flame is steady, casting long, peaceful shadows against the whitewashed walls. The settler who lives here has spent the day mending nets and tending the small coastal garden. Now the nets are hung, the garden is still, the work is finished. You sit by the window and look out at the harbor. The small wooden boats are tied to the dock. They bob up and down, in a slow, hypnotic dance. You can hear the gentle creak, creak of the ropes. It is a comforting sound. It is the sound of things being held safely in place. The mist is starting to roll in now. It is a soft, white blanket moving silently across the water. It swallows the distant rocks and the shoreline, wrapping the entire world in a layer of quiet cotton. Everything becomes muffled. The world feels smaller, safer, and very, very still. The candle on the table is getting shorter. The light is dim and warm. In this seaboard solitude, there is no noise from the outside world. There are no worries about tomorrow. There is only the rhythmic pulse of the Atlantic and the safe walls of the home. The Atlantic has a way of washing away the day's heavy thoughts. As the mist thickens,
you feel a deep heaviness in your limbs. It is a good heaviness. It is the feeling of complete relaxation. The salt air makes your eyes feel sleepy. The sound of the waves acts like a gentle hand, smoothing away any remaining tension. The stars above the coast are now hidden behind the soft mist, but you know they are there. The entire New England coast is settling into a deep, watery slumber. The seabirds are silent in their nests along the cliffs. The village is dark. The only thing remaining is the whisper of the tide. Shh. Hushing. Shh. You are safe. You are at rest. The great ocean is watching over the land, humming a quiet song that has been sung for 1,000 years. As you drift deeper into the mist, you feel ready to leave the shore and enter the world of dreams. But as the ocean whispers, you wonder, what lies further inland? What stories are being told by the flickering hearths of the deep woods? We will find out soon. For now, let the Atlantic carry you away into a peaceful velvet sleep. Sleep now. Listen to the tide. Sleep in the seaboard solitude. We move away from the misty coast and step back inside the sturdy walls of a frontier home. Outside, the night is vast and silent, but inside, there is a different kind of magic. This is the hour of the hearth, the warm, glowing heart of every settler's home. The room is dim, lit only by the dancing light of the fireplace. The heavy stone hearth is the center of the world tonight. Imagine the smell of burning hickory and oak, a sweet, earthy scent that fills the room with comfort. The fire is not wild. It is a steady, rhythmic pulse of golden and orange light. Crack, flicker, crack. The sound of the wood settling in the fire is the only clock the settlers need. It is a slow, peaceful sound. As you watch the flames, feel the warmth spreading across your skin. It starts at your toes and moves slowly upward, relaxing every muscle it touches. Your hands, tired from the day's labor, now rest softly in your lap. In the corner, an old wooden spinning wheel sits in the shadows. Its work is done for the day, but you can almost hear the ghostly hum of the wool being spun earlier that evening. Beside the fire, a handmade quilt is draped over a rocking chair. The colors are faded, soft reds, deep blues, and earthy greens, all woven together to tell a story of family and survival. This is the time for folklore. In the quiet of the evening, the settlers would lean closer to the warmth. They would speak in low, gentle voices about the old stories from across the sea. They spoke of hidden treasures in the hills, of spirits in the tall pines, and of the brave souls who walked these paths before them. These stories weren't meant to excite. They were meant to connect. They were a bridge between the dark wilderness outside and the safe circle of light inside. Imagine a grandfather leaning back in his chair, his voice a soft rumble like distant thunder. He speaks of the great harvest, of the kindness of neighbors, and of the ancient stars that guide the lost. His words are like a velvet blanket wrapping around you, making you feel safe and protected. The firelight is shimmering against the copper pots hanging on the wall. They catch the orange glow, reflecting it in tiny, peaceful glimmers. On the wooden table, a bowl of dried apples sits quietly. Everything in this room has a purpose. Everything has a place. And right now, your only purpose is to rest. Outside, the wind might brush against the log walls, but it cannot enter. The heavy timber, the mud chinking, and the stone chimney stand strong. You are in a sanctuary of stillness. The shadows on the wall are performing a slow, silent dance, stretching and shrinking in time with the embers. The fire is beginning to burn lower now. The bright yellow flames have turned into a deep glowing red. These are the sleeping coals. They will stay warm all through the night, keeping the house safe until the sun returns. Watch the soft pulse of the red light. Glow, fade, glow. It is the heartbeat of the house. Your breathing is slow now, very slow. Each breath is as deep and steady as the shadows in the room. The folklore of the past is drifting away, turning into the dreams of the present. The stories have done their work. They have calmed the mind and prepared the soul for the long, quiet night ahead. The room is growing darker, but the warmth remains. It is a dry, cozy heat that makes your eyelids feel heavy, so very heavy. The world outside is a mystery, a vast American frontier waiting for tomorrow. But tonight, there is only the hearth. There is only the firelight. As the last spark rises up the chimney and vanishes into the starry sky, you feel a sense of perfect peace. The vigil is over. The house is quiet. The fire is resting. Sleep now in the glow of the embers. Sleep among the echoes of the old stories. The fire in the hearth has settled into a steady glow. The house is quiet. Now we move to a small wooden desk in the corner of the room. This is the place of reflection. On the desk sits a single candle, its flame a tiny golden teardrop dancing in the dark. This is the hour of the journal, the time when the day's work is turned into memory. Imagine the sound of a quill pen moving slowly across a piece of thick, cream-colored paper. Scratch, slide, scratch. It is a rhythmic and peaceful sound. The ink is dark and wet, shimmering under the candlelight before it dries. To the early American settler, this journal was more than just paper. It was a bridge to the future. It was a way to say, I was here. I saw the sun rise over the valley. I felt the rain on the corn. The candlelight creates a small circle of warmth around you. Outside that circle, the room is draped in a soft velvet blackness. The shadows move gently on the walls, like silent friends watching over your shoulder. The air is still. There's no rush here. The ink flows slowly, just like the time in the frontier. In this journal, there are no loud words, only soft ones. The settler writes about the gentle morning mist. They write about the shimmering dew on the pumpkin vines. They record the peaceful silence of the forest and the rhythmic sound of the wind in the wheat. As you listen, imagine those words being written. Feel the weight of the pen in your hand. Feel the focus of a mind that is finally at rest. The candle flickers slightly as a soft breeze finds its way through a tiny crack in the window. The flame bows and then stands tall again, casting a golden light on the handwritten lines. The ink holds the secrets of the day, the small joys like finding a patch of wild berries, or the quiet pride of finishing a new fence. Writing in the evening was a way to let go. As each word is placed on the page, the worries of the day vanish. The stress of the hard soil, the heat of the noon sun, the long walk to the creek, all of it is recorded, and then it is released. The mind becomes as clear as a mountain spring. Look at the candle. The wax is slowly melting, forming a small, translucent pool at the base of the wick. It is a slow process, steady and calm. Your thoughts are melting just like the wax. They are becoming soft and smooth. The horizon of the day is closing. and the horizon of sleep is opening. The candle closes the book. The sound of the heavy leather cover meeting the wooden desk is a soft, final thud. The day is officially over. The ink is dry. The story is safe. Now there is nothing left to do but breathe. The candle is now very low. The light is dim and orange, warm and inviting. You lean back in your chair. The wooden back feels solid and supportive. You are surrounded by the history you have just written. You are part of the great American story, a quiet voice in the vast wilderness. The flame gives one last gentle dance. With a soft breath, the candle is blown out. A thin silver trail of smoke rises into the darkness, swirling toward the ceiling like a dream. The room is now dark, but it is a kind darkness. It is a darkness that promises deep, uninterrupted rest. The journal sits on the desk, holding the life of the day within its pages. Tomorrow will bring new paths and new light, but tonight the ink is still. The pen is down. The mind is quiet. Sleep now as the ink dries on the page. Sleep within the candlelight horizons. Now, leave the cozy cabin and the coastal mist behind. In your mind, we are moving westward, across the great rivers and into the heart of the American continent. Here, the land opens up. It stretches out forever under a sky so big it feels like you can touch the stars. Welcome to the Great Plains. Imagine standing in the middle of a sea of grass. This is the tall grass prairie. It is not a silent place, but it is a quiet one. The sound you hear is the wind, a gentle, constant hum that moves across the earth like a soft prayer. The grass is tall, reaching up to your waist, swaying in perfect unison, swaying left and swaying right. It looks like green and gold waves on a peaceful ocean of land. The sun has set long ago, leaving a sky filled with a deep velvet indigo. There are no trees here to block your view. There are no mountains to hide the horizon. There is only the vast open space. The air is dry and clean, smelling of sweet hay and sun-warmed earth. It is a scent that makes you feel grounded, safe, and free. You are staying in a small sod house built directly from the earth itself. The walls are thick and cool, keeping the spirit of the plains inside. You step outside for one last look at the night. The ground beneath your feet is solid. The grass brushes against your hands with a soft, feathery touch. Shh. The grass whispers as it moves. Listen to the rhythm of the plains. It is a slow, steady pulse. The wind doesn't howl here tonight. It only sighs. It travels hundreds of miles over the flat land, carrying the quiet history of the frontier. It tells stories of the bison that once roamed here and the settlers who watched these same stars. Look up, because there are no city lights for 1,000 miles. The stars are brilliant. They are shimmering like diamonds on dark silk. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a soft white cloud. It is so beautiful, it takes your breath away. You feel small, but in a peaceful way. You are a tiny part of this grand, shimmering universe. Everything here is about balance. The vastness of the sky meets the stillness of the earth. The movement of the wind meets the silence of the night. As you stand in the tall grass, you feel the tension leaving your body. Your heart slows down to match the slow wave of the prairie. The crickets are singing now, a soft, rhythmic chirping that sounds like a tiny bell ringing in the distance. It is a peaceful, hypnotic sound. Chirp, chirp, chirp. It blends perfectly with the rustle of the grass. It is the music of the American heartland, a song of rest and endurance. You walk back toward your quiet home. The thick walls of the sod house wait for you. Inside, it is dark and perfectly still. The wind continues to play its song outside, but in here, you are protected. You lie down on a bed of soft straw and heavy blankets. The scent of the prairie follows you inside, lulling you toward sleep. The Great Plains do not demand anything from you. They only ask you to listen. Listen to the wind through the tall grass. Listen to the silence that lives between the gusts. It is a deep, ancient silence that heals the soul. The horizon is hidden now, lost in the shadows of the night. The grass continues its gentle dance, but you are ready to rest. The plains will be here when you wake, stretching out toward the morning sun. But for now, the wind is your lullaby. Sleep now as the grass sways in the dark. Sleep in the silence of the Great Plains. We leave the wide open plains and travel back toward the heart of a small colonial town. It is late. The bustling sounds of the afternoon, the wooden carts, the blacksmith's hammer, and the children's laughter have all faded away. The sun has long since retired, and the moon sits high and silver over the village green. The village green is a soft, grassy square in the center of town. Tonight, it is bathed in a pale, shimmering light. The trees that line the path stand like tall, silent guardians. Their leaves are still, catching the moonlight on their waxy surfaces. The air here is cool and smells of damp clover and old stone. As you walk across the soft grass, you feel the peace of a community at rest. Every window in every house is dark. The families are tucked away under heavy quilts, dreaming of the new land. There is a beautiful sense of shared silence here. It is a collective sigh of a village that has worked hard and now finding its reward in sleep. Look toward the center of the village. There stands the meeting house, its tall white spire reaching up toward the velvet sky. At the very top sits the bronze bell. For years, this bell has called people to celebrate, to pray, and to gather. But tonight, its job is different. Tonight, it marks the passage of time in the quietest way possible. Listen. The air is so still that you can hear the tiny sounds of the night. A distant owl calls from the woods. The soft pat-pat of a stray cat's paws on the cobblestones. And then a deep, low vibration begins. It is the clock in the tower preparing to strike. Bong. The sound of the midnight bell is not loud. It is a heavy, golden vibration that ripples through the cool air. It travels over the rooftops, through the gardens, and into the open windows of the sleeping houses. Bong. With each strike, the world feels even more still. It is a rhythmic reminder that the day is truly over. The echoes of the bell linger in the air, fading slowly like a ripple on a pond. Hum. The sound vibrates in your chest, a gentle and grounding feeling. Bong. The bell tells the story of the village. It tells of the midnight watchman walking his rounds with a lantern, his footsteps rhythmic and steady on the brick path. Clip, clap, clip, clap. He carries a small light that flickers like a grounded star, ensuring that every door is locked and every hearth is safe. All is well, he whispers to the night, and truly, all is well. You feel a deep sense of security here. In the village green, you are surrounded by history and by people. Even in the silence, you are not alone. The midnight bell is a bridge between the day that has passed and the morning that is yet to come. The spire of the meeting house looks like a silver needle against the dark indigo sky. The stars seem to pulse in time with the fading echoes of the bell. The grass beneath your feet is cool with evening dew, shimmering like a carpet of tiny diamonds. As the final echo of the 12th strike melts into the darkness, a perfect silence returns. The bell is still. The watchman has passed. The village is wrapped in a thick, peaceful blanket of midnight. Your mind feels as quiet as the village green. The thoughts of the day have been wrung away by the bronze bell. Your body feels heavy and relaxed, ready to sink into the soft grass of sleep. You are part of this village, part of this night, and part of this enduring peace. The echoes are gone now, but the feeling of safety remains. The midnight bell has done its work. It has closed the door on the world. Sleep now, as the echoes fade away. Sleep in the heart of the village green.
We have traveled far tonight. We have walked the blue ridges, listened to the Atlantic tides, sat by the glowing hearth, and stood in the tall brass of the plains. Now the journey reaches its most peaceful destination. We are entering the realm of the final restoration, the place where the spirit of the frontier meets the world of dreams. The world is now completely dark, but it is a kind and gentle darkness. Imagine yourself lying down on a bed of soft, cool linens. The air around you is perfectly still. There is no wind. There is no sound. There is only the rhythmic beat of your own heart, slow and steady. Thump, thump, thump. This is the moment when the early settlers found their true rest. After the miles of walking, the building of homes, and the planting of seeds, they gave themselves over to the night. They knew that the land was safe. They knew that the stars were watching. Close your eyes in your mind. Imagine a new frontier, one that belongs only to you. It is a land of shimmering silver rivers and velvet meadows that never end. In this place, there is no labor. There is no tired bone or weary thought. Everything is light. Everything is soft. You are drifting now. It feels like floating on a calm, warm lake under a sky of purple silk. The memories of the day, the sights and sounds we have explored together, are turning into soft, blurry shapes. The mountains are now just a gentle curve in the distance. The sea is just a faint hum. The village bell is a memory of a memory. This is the final restoration. This is where your mind repairs itself. Like the earth resting under a winter snow, you are becoming quiet and renewed. The settlers believed that dreams were the soul's way of exploring new lands. Tonight, you are a pioneer of the dream world. The air smells of lavender and old sun-dried wood. It is the scent of a home that is always warm and always safe. You are surrounded by a soft golden mist. It wraps around you like a heavy weighted blanket, pressing down gently, telling you that it is okay to let go. Let go of the day. Let go of the journey. The frontier is no longer a place of struggle. It is a place of infinite peace. You can see the faint shimmering light of 1,000 campfires in the distance, each one representing a soul at rest. We are all together in this great quiet night. Your breathing is now so shallow and so calm that you can hardly feel it. You are sinking deeper and deeper into the velvet cushions of sleep. The history of the past is a soft pillow beneath your head. The hope of the future is a warm quilt over your body. The great American wilderness is sleeping with you. The forests are still. The rivers are smooth like glass. The stars are dimming their lights, one by one, as you drift further away. There is nothing left to see. There is nothing left to hear. There is only the drift, the slow, rhythmic drift into the deep blue of the night. You are restored. You are home. You are at peace. The new frontier is waiting for you in your dreams. It is a place of golden sunlight and crystal waters. But for now, stay here in the quiet dark. Stay in the silence of the final restoration. Sleep now. The journey is complete. Sleep in the dreams of a new frontier. Good night.
The fire has turned to ash, and the frontier is still. You are now safe in the heart of the night. Your journey for today is complete. If you found peace with us tonight, consider subscribing to our quiet community here at Sleeptale Histories so we can journey together again tomorrow. But for now, there is only rest. The stars are watching. The world is at peace. Sleep now. Sleep and dream of the new frontier. Good night.
If you're still awake, another peaceful story awaits you.